Right, hello everybody, and welcome back to episode 6 of the Proud Terriers Weekly Review Show. I've not got much to say in terms of an introduction this week, actually, but I hope you all had a good week, and I hope you'll enjoy the show tonight. I'm really happy to welcome Brad back onto the show. Obviously, it's crazy that when Brad came on the first time, it was our first ever episode, and that was over a month ago, which is crazy how quick time's gone. But yeah, I'm really happy to welcome him back onto the show. And also, congratulations on the 3K sub, because like I said, I'm really proud of you for that, because like I said, we've been trying to get you over that line. So you must be happy with that, and obviously.
Yeah, that's massive, especially with times as they are at the minute. We don't want to have an echo. With the way things are at the minute, every little bit of positivity means the most to everyone. So obviously, if I can be getting stuff like this to happen, and then it's positivity that I can just inject back into the channel. I guess next season I've got big plans. Hopefully the team doesn't screw them up, because that would be one of the possibilities. Hopefully, a certain something that's been going on for the past 2 years doesn't screw it up. But we've got plenty of prayers, and hopefully they all go our way.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing what you've got, to produce next in terms of your content. Cause like I said, I think you do. I love watching your videos. I've said this before, but I know probably repeat myself. But yeah, they are great, and like I say, it'd be good to see what you've got planned for you. Like I say,
yeah, certainly.
Proud with that milestone that you just hit recently. So yeah. We're going to get going now, because we don't. So if we really have to, we'll have to go on to the game against Norwich City, which unfortunately, we're laughing about it now, but actually it's not a good laugh. I can tell you that now. And like I say, it really was. We got totally embarrassed, and like I say, the things that I took from that game was that fact is, there was no shape, no design, and we had no idea what we were doing either. So, like I say, it was the worst defeat in 34 years, which, like I say, I don't think I've ever seen a town scoreline so large like that. And the reality is, it could have been worse. But when I looked at obviously the team news, and obviously, I kind of saw one player that was playing in a position that maybe we'd seen earlier on this year that didn't have to work. So, in terms of seeing Lewis O'Brien at left wing back, or wherever you want to call it, left back, whatever. Now, we've seen Lewis in that position before, and I think as a fan base, we can quite easily say that it didn't work. So why did Carlos decide to go with somebody that it clearly didn't work in previous matches? I really don't understand that in terms of that. But so what was your reaction to the team? I know it seems like ages away now, but I think it was kind of and in terms of the overall view of the selection of the team.
Well, I'm just going to get the lineup up now, actually, because I remember the exact thought I had when it got announced. I think straight away you've got to question him for the keeper choice. I mean, why is Leutwiler joining the club and not playing? If Schofield's not available, we go with Leutwiler. Sorry, I don't care how young Pereira is. Leutwiler is 31 years of age. If he's been a keeper for so long, he knows how football works. That scoreline would not have been 7-0 if Leutwiler in goal. It could have been 5, very much so, but 5 sounds a lot better than 7. I think you bang on about O'Brien being left back. Why we did that, no clue whatsoever. I mean, just the team we started with in general. I mean, this is a game. Norwich have got fast forwards. Why was Edmonds Green not on from the off? He's a fast centre half. You look at the defence again. They're fast, and we really don't have many fast players. So, maybe try and counter that with height. I don't know why he's Rowe on the bench. We've seen how good he can be. Why is he sat on the bench? Because it's all fun and games until until he gets pissed away off to, I don't know, Peterborough will come up next season, and he'll start for someone like them, and he'll play week in, week out, and we'll just be sat there trying to pull his pants up, and it's just like, why? There's nothing more infuriating when we're in a position that we're in and people say, oh, it's a free hit. Well, I'm not being funny. We play in a league where everyone can beat everyone. Just play the best 11.
Exactly, I agree.
Even if it's 2-0, I said 2-0. And funnily enough, I got both goal scorers, but that was in poor taste. I mean, if we lost 2-0, so what? I said on stream, 2-0 is not bad. I mean, you look at the quality, not one of our players is better than their players. Maybe Hogg beating that McLean by a push, and that's a fraction. But you look at the rest, and they just outclass us in every department. And I mean, do you know what the key difference was? It wasn't quality, it wasn't football, it was the basics. Every single second ball, I will back him till he leaves the club, but Bakuna was absolutely shocking. O'Brien was absolutely shocking. The amount of space that they allowed Buendia. Buendia is a player that will be playing for a Europa League team next season. If Norwich end up doing bad come January, he will be at Arsenal straight away. There is no question about that. You do not give that kind of player space, because he gave him space, and look at what happened.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like I say, but if overall, then maybe you shouldn't be focused on just one play. But obviously, overall, for me, it did seem like Carlos had just kind of think, well, you know what, we'll just look ahead to the weekend rather than focusing on this game itself. Which, for me, I don't understand that either, and it didn't pay off, did it at all? It's just not, it's just not good enough. Like I say, you know, like I said, far too much space. We gave him too much space. You know, no closing down whatsoever. You know,
exactly none.
Yeah,
and I don't recall one point in the game where they got the ball, took a heavy touch, and our player was on it.
No,
I can't recall a single time.
No, it's disgraceful, and players walking around the pitch as well, which I must admit is not acceptable. It is really painful to see, and we as like I've said it on previous weeks, and you know, as a town fan base as a whole, we know what we expect from the team, regardless of what happens. You know, we expect that, you know, everyone's giving their all and playing. You know, they are paid to do a job. They are professional footballers, and they have got to act like it. Like I say, it's just like I say, half-hearted blocks as well. If you're not gonna try and get the ball, if you're not gonna try and block, you know, from trying to block, you know, from scoring, there's no point even trying to be looking like the half-hearted. The body language was just terrible, I'm afraid. And like I say, Norwich are a very good side. I've got to give them credit, but they are not a side that should be beating any team by that scoreline. So,
certainly. Yeah, certainly. I mean, no one. I mean, not being funny, there's a massive jump in terms of quality from the Prem to the Championship, and there shouldn't be that much of a difference in quality and performance that a team wins 7-0 in this league. But if it was going to be against a team, it would be us.
The amount of times in they were probably maybe the odd one or two that were, you know, you could say just too good for us, what we conceded on that night, but most of them was unfortunately from our own wrongdoing. You know, in terms of, you know, no closing down. You know, it's as if, you know, you was watching it and the defense was just stood still. There was everyone. Well, in fact, the whole team was stood still. But I'm just saying, when they was attacking, obviously the defense you see more of, and you know, players were just coming in, and there was no. They had so much. It was just crazy to watch. I couldn't believe my eyes, really, unfortunately. And like I say, you know, standing off people, you know, you know, they were also just putting themselves in the situations where our defenders could be done for pace as well. So we wasn't helping ourselves. Like I say, I know that the game was probably gone by that stage, but conceding that penalty as well, it's just foolish. And Benza didn't need to do it, and it just summed up our match. And I know that the game was probably over by then, but it's just these moments in the match that just kept on happening. And like I say, there were too much, you know, like indecisiveness as well. You know, when you felt that we needed to be decisive in those moments, we were really, really undecisive. And like I say, if you look at that first half as well, which practically ended the match, it was just full of errors. And unfortunately, like I say, I mentioned it earlier, putting our best player in recent weeks at left back, which he's clearly struggled in the past, was just a ridiculous thing. And for me, why is he? I know that our squad may be quite thin, but why is he continuously playing players that, if you look to next season, probably won't be here? And plus, why is he playing players that are just coasting and are not bothered at all? I don't understand why he's wanting players on that pitch that are just not looking interested.
Yeah, I think we could go on about that lineup every day of the week, but unfortunately, everyone saw that game as a free hit. Now, I personally disagree with this, but you say it's a free hit if you're in 10th, not if you're in 19th or whatever.
That is rubbish. I hate it. That's why I voiced my concerns about that prior to the game, and it probably did bite me back really, because in terms of me saying that, it kind of looked like, well, it kind of felt like it was in the end in terms of, but no game is a free hit. And I'm telling you now, if we, previously, if we would have just given our best, and like I say,
we beat West Brom last season, it can be done.
It's just the worrying thing for me is that performance. I know that we knew that we've had issues in the past, but that performance pretty much summed it up. And it really was, like I say, Carlos does have to hold his hands up and say he did get that wrong. Like I say, he chose a lineup that was, in all due respect, weaker to what we've been used to previously. And that, from looking from the outside, it looked like he'd just given up the ghost before the game had started, unfortunately, through that selection. Now, there's no disrespect to the player that was on the pitch. Admittedly, we had enough on that pitch to be better than we did, and way better than we did. And that's not speaking, obviously. But like I say, it was very painful to, like I say, something that I've noted down here as well is that where exactly in our squad, I'm kind of thinking about this overall now. Where exactly is our fighters in our team? Where is the pride within our side that we used to see quite a lot? So many things wrong with, people. Some players are just coasting through the season and they just couldn't care less. And that is what it looks like. I'm not criticizing any player here. I'm just saying what it looks like, right? And, like I said, the body language as well. It's just not good to see these half-hearted tackles. It really is a disgrace. And like I say, it's I just don't know what else to say about that game, and I think we should move on quite quickly. But it's just, I don't know. The money, I think, and I've said this previously, I think getting to the Premier League was the worst thing that we could ever done. Now I know that we had some great times there, but I'm thinking about more in terms of the money that came into our hands, kind of thing, in terms of the club's hands. And if you look at how many people cashed in on Huddersfield Town through the success of the Premier League, executives that have come and gone and things like that, it's just, we've just been a complete laughing stock for a number of years now, unfortunately. And the recruitment as well, which we'll get onto a bit later. But it's just a solid state of affairs, unfortunately. And probably going on too much now. But so I think that game is best left as it is, unfortunately, because there's nothing much to say.
We were totally outclassed by a much better team. They got everything, including the basics, including the extras, right. So when that happens, you're not going to get anywhere in the game. So
yeah,
you're right. Oh, God.
Brad Giles has got this spot on here. It says, half the squad can't be bothered and just in it for the money. but you have some who give it their all, which arguably they do. Some do give their all, but he's argued that it's hard for the players in their all, but some players that don't actually give a stuff about anything. So it's kind of, yes, we understand that there is players that do try week now, but it's kind of thinking about, well, if others aren't pulling the weight, then it isn't really helpful for the overall team, is it? Hogg fights for the team. He has passion. Hogg does fight for the team, but my argument is that he really does fight, but he has to hold his hands up and say that he's been a bit off it these past few games as well.
No one's blameless.
Like I say, I'm not pointing the finger at anybody here, because as a team, we were disgraced from minute one against Norwich. The way we set up, the tactics, the formation, everything was wrong. And like I say, it's just inexcusable to see a performance like that, because it was simply embarrassing, and we got humiliated by a side that, yes, will be in the Premier League next season, but there's no excuses from our part to put in a performance like we did. That's the bottom line. So I think that's where we'll leave it. So let's move. I kind of think we should move on to the game against Rotherham now, which doesn't get much better, unfortunately, but it has to be done right. So the one conclusion that I made from this game, right, is that we should not be outclassed at home by a team that is 22nd place, right? There's no excuse for that. That's the first point, though. And my second point is, I think everyone knows this. We were very lucky to even get a point. And like I say, had it not been for Schofield making some great saves, as well as a bit of help from the post and a bit of help from the referee as well, who clearly missed a penalty that Rotherham deserved when Sarr pushed the play. I can't remember who it was who he pushed over, but it was a clear foul for that one. So, like I say, we have to be better than this, considering our issues at this moment in time. Like I say, and Rotherham had a goal disallowed as well, which you could argue they definitely deserve to. Like I say,
100%.
They deserve to win.
It's what you agreed with what I said on Twitter. We've had their pants down there, because we all joke and laugh, but let's look at it. Let's look at the facts. I mean, I went into the gym today for the first day, and I spoke to one of the trainers there who's a Chelsea fan, and he looked at the 0-0 and thought, oh, decent result. But obviously someone who don't watch the game isn't going to know that, all the bits in between. And I mean, I felt so ashamed, but I had to say, no, we did not deserve that point. I mean, you look at it, every little chance they had, we could have conceded 13 goals in 2 games. That could have easily been another 5-6-0. The chances they missed, they hit the post on a sitter, they hit the bar on a free kick, they should have had a penalty. They missed an open net in the last minute. Schofield bailed us out. That's 5. The offside goal, that's 6 clear-cut chances as well. Sorry, the free kick might not be classed as one, but if you hit the bar, in my books, that's very, very close without scoring.
Yeah.
It's at least 5 goals there. And can I recall one chance where we could have got 1? No, I mean, it's like, do you know what? Yeah. Everyone talks all this absolute rubbish shite in the conferences. We're going to bounce back. Where?
Yeah.
You bounce nowhere.
Yeah.
There's no bouncing back. There's nothing. And it makes me laugh, because they expect people. I'm going to renew, because football is a very crucial part of my life. And that's nothing in any way disrespect to any other Huddersfield Town fans. But some people won't stand for it. And they're going to have to realise this. Twitter is a minefield at the minute. There's a massive divide of 3 sets of fans. There's ones that love to be right when we're calling that we're going to be awful. There's those that hate those people, and then there's those that are all in between thinking, do I bother renewing? What's the point? It's just going to be so boring. We go back as it is now, right? There's going to be booing every week. There'll be banners. There'll be the lot. It's going to be like, these fan cams that I plan on doing are going to be like a glorified Arsenal fan TV, because people will not just lay down and accept it, because this is their club at the end of the day. And that on Rotherham, it's like you say, we're at home. It's so disgraceful. And I feel bad for Rotherham. They deserved all 3 points. If you could get 6 points from one game, they deserved it on Saturday. Because they fought and fought and fought and fought and fought and fought. And, I mean, we were just so... The hurtful thing about it isn't the result. Because on paper, we should win that game. But the hurtful thing is the words. Because the words mean nothing anymore.
Yeah.
The connection between the board, the fans, the players, the fans, it's just bollocks, honestly. Apologies for swearing, but I'm gonna say it how it is. The people in charge of the club really don't have the interest of the fans. They really don't. And the interest of us is to see a club do well for once. And all this about stability, you're just gonna sign Richard Keogh's best mate again next year. Don't lie to us. Don't give us hope that we're gonna sign, because 2 Spanish signings this season, they've both been good. Vallejo on his day is unplayable. Pippa on his day, which hasn't been many times, but with a defence around him like he's got, we can't exactly say that he's not got the team around him. If you look at that, I mean, what's he going to defend? Because he's an attacking fullback at the end of the day. 2 Spanish players, 2 very good signings, cost absolutely nothing, but we'll just sign English players next. I mean, Holmes, Christ. Oh, I'm going to let you talk, Ryan, because I won't shut up, honestly.
I really do feel your pain, Brad. And actually, touching upon the season card, obviously the season card price has been announced today. I think the biggest concern for some fans, and this is not that they don't want to go and watch football, like you said, you love football, and like I said, I don't think it's about that for some fans. It's the fact that the money that they send to the club, where is it go? Where is it going to go? Is it going to
be car parking spaces or blue and white seats? You see what I mean? We just don't think
that's not going to get someone to buy a season card though.
Exactly, that's what I mean. In fact, you know what? We'll probably buy more signs for the stadium, or I don't know. We'll buy a new fan zone or a new burger van behind Fantastic Media or whatever. It's almost like any opportunity we get to do the thing right, we do the complete opposite. Set up well against Norwich, set up awful. Put in a bit of effort against Rotherham, no effort. Sign some players, no, we'll get some blue and white seats instead and pay Hoyle the rest of what we owe him. It's just so frustrating. It's like every time, I'm just repeating myself here, but every time something can go right, it goes wrong. And there's nothing more that annoys me than those people on Twitter and Facebook who are all like, well, I was here in 1960. Well done. Yeah, I commend you for your support and I respect you so much for following the club from that long. But ultimately, there's a time and a place to say it. Yeah. If you want to post on Facebook about how you've been going since it was 1962 and we just won a game, then I will take my hat off to you because you've said it at the right time and the right place. There's nothing better than seeing a post like that after we've just won a game and made history. But the worst time to put it is when we've just lost 7-0 to Norwich. Sorry, mate. We understand that you've been through up and down with town, but we don't really care about what happened in past seasons. We care about what's happening right here, right now. Unfortunately, it's not good enough. It's not been good enough, and I don't think it ever will be good enough because this board is like a disease to this club at the minute. The recruitment signing his mates. Devlin says one thing and then goes back on it. Fast, free-flowing football. Are they taking the piss? No, like, seriously. Where's the fast football? In order to play fast-flowing football, we have to have the ball. And against Norwich, did we touch the ball? Oh, yeah, when kicking off.
Yeah. And we just sat back then.
Low block again. It's like Prem second season all over again.
Yeah. You're not going to
flowing my ass.
Yeah. No, I absolutely, like I say. And we can go on about, like I say, on Saturday, it was a big opportunity against Rotherham. And like I say, in that first half, it kind of, we're kind of replicating what happened before, like in terms of, we had about 62% possession. We did absolutely nothing with that possession. Absolutely nothing.
And that's what I mean, though. It's like, it's so frustrating. These people are, we had 62% possession. Well done. It don't mean all. Like,
well, Carlos came out and said we controlled the first half. So
I saw that. I thought, whoa.
What?
I looked at that on Twitter. I thought it was one of those fake accounts. Like there's that Sandra account with that photo of Madge from Benidorm that always posts those bait things. Like, I don't know, Sheffield Wednesday have scored 3 or something. And I thought it was one of them accounts. I was like, no, surely he's having a giggle here. In what part of that game did we control anything? Because we didn't. Credit to Rotherham. They deserve to stay in this division.
Yeah, they do.
Because that performance was a worthy performance.
Yeah, definitely. I totally
Wednesday and Wickham, I think, are gone now. Could change, but I think they're gone. Obviously, it's annoying that Wednesday are going because it's an away day I'd like to go to, and especially my stepdad as a fan, that's not going to be easy. But
the problem is, let me just stop with that. You're speaking as if we are.
Exactly, no, that's what I mean.
Until we are safe, I am not saying we are safe because at the end of the day, we do not know.
Subconsciously, I feel we're safe, but
no, I don't.
When I wake up and smell the coffee, I know that we're not. And I mean,
where's our next points coming from?
That's what. Right. You know what? I'm glad you said that because I did the thing with Pricey the other day. Yeah, his after-match reaction to Norwich, and we just both looked at each other and laughed at the first 5 minutes. I mean, what do you even say? I was in shock. Not only have we just lost 7-0, it's on live TV. Everyone's seen it. It's not like we can pretend it's not happened. It's not like we can look the other way. It's happened and we have to accept it. And Pricey said 2 points. I said, mate, there's no way we get 2 points. Who's the draw coming against? And Rotherham, take away everything apart from the result, it wasn't a draw. We were very jammy to get that draw. Oh my God, we were so jammy. I should have put a lottery ticket on Saturday because that was the jamminess we were getting. And Bournemouth, do we really expect Billing's going to score? 100%. The guy's got 2 in his last hour. Billing is going to score and celebrate. That's happening. Danjuma's going to get 1. Probably Surridge as well as someone. It'll be a 3-0. And I mean, I'd love for some fan to give me a backed up, well explained, analysed opinion on why that won't happen, but they can.
And they simply can, and that's the reality. Like I say, I know we've spoken about look in the past, and the reality is you have got your earn your own luck in your but that's landing in your favour, like that kind of luck. But when you're relying on luck not to lose, let me just repeat, that is a big worry. Especially against a side you need to be winning, like we were on Saturday. At the end of the day, I'm not going to say, like I say, this may seem like I'm just, Rotherham. I think Rotherham. I'm not disrespecting Rotherham at all because they have got a group that, okay, they may lack quality, but you know what? Every I haven't watched them every game, but I can probably guess that every game they play their best and they try. Their whole team is working, and it's just the quality for them. I think that's maybe why they're down.
But you know what? Yeah, we've got to look at as well. They've just been promoted, and look at that. This is a League One team with minimal investment that are grafting like a Sunday League. Not saying the Sunday League, but they're grafting like a Sunday League team would. They played that game like it was a last-minute cup game in Sunday League. It's 3-3, and they need a goal. They was on it every time. And you know that second ball I was mentioning earlier against Norwich? They had it every single time. Single time. That wing, that Lindsay, that Wiles in the middle, they absolutely played us off the park. They made us look like the team that had come up from League One. We could have looked at them and thought that they were the ex-Premier League side. The way they were playing is almost as if, they were the ones that, obviously they are down there, but you know what I mean? It was like they was the ones in 19th and we were the ones down there. And it really should be like that. But
no, it definitely shouldn't be like that. And like I say, they wanted it more. But my question then is why didn't we? Why don't we want it? Why don't we want to get safe and then rebuild on next season? Why are we just happy to just sit there, just stand there?
I think we've got a compulsive obsession, with just leaving things to the last day of the season. We love it. We absolutely crave it. With the Patra in the Prem, we did it last season, second to last game against West Brom, I believe. We don't like doing things easier ways. We always like messing about. And I mean, just touching up on this on Saturday, Ryan, and you'll probably agree with me 100% here. Look at this lineup, and I'm glad Edmund Green's there because that's progress. Why is Holmes starting? What has he done? Holmes should not be there. He scored 2 goals. One of them was a pearler, brilliant. What's happened since? The guy, a Monopoly piece on a board moves more than that guy, genuinely. He's just so static. And Bakun is the same, O'Brien's been the same. I'm not singling one player out. They're all in the wrong here. But, right, Rolando Aarons is on the bench. Start him. It can't get worse. Just start him. And Benza, start him. Thomas, if you're not going to play Aarons, start Thomas. Because past 2 games, Thomas he's give his energy. Why is Aaron Rowe not playing again? Why is he not playing? Just play him. Do you know what, yeah? This game against Bournemouth, after the past 2 games, it is a free hit. Because before it wouldn't have been, but now it is. It's only a free hit because we made it a free hit. We've made it a free hit because of the last 2 performances. So do you know what, yeah? Tomorrow night, do you know what I want to see? I want to see Schofield in goal. I'd put Jaden Brown left back. No, this is seriously what I'd go with. I'd just do this as an experiment. High can start, Rowe can start, Thomas can start, and Benza up front. Bring Osserfield in and all kids.
Yeah,
I bet you any money they graft more. Don't care about the result, they'll graft more. Because in my eyes, we've already lost this. The best thing we can see is graft. The best thing we can see is a bit of this, a bit of getting into them, letting them know they're there. It's like Hogg's elusive tackles that he does on opponents to let them know that he's battling. Where was that? Just nothing. And it's killing me.
It is really painful at the moment. And
I'd play the kids. I'd genuinely like.
I agree.
Beginning of the season, you just said, "Come on, man! Like, don't take the piss here." But why not? Like that draw was not a draw. Like that's not a draw. That's like the equivalent of putting a bet on. I don't know. An accumulator, yeah, and it ends up being a cup game. And you let's say that Chelsea played Southampton, and you had Chelsea to beat them. They win in extra time, you lose the bet. That's what this is essentially. They've won the game, but we really haven't. Have we really progressed from this game? No. It's just so boring. Sane needs to watch himself because one of these days he's going to get sent off again.
Yeah, like I say, I just don't understand how going back to where I'm laughing, but actually I'm just so mad inside. And going back to why is he continuing to play players that do not care and are not doing anything? The likes of Holmes, like you say, Holmes. We're not singling out players here, but Holmes. In all fairness, it's not his fault that we decided to bring him back. But the reality is we did bring him back, and he's had. I think he's only had 1 good game for us.
Swansea. I can't think of any other game where I looked at that game and thought, "Oh, Holmes played good today."
But it's not just the performance either; it's the fact of what he does.
Just stood there.
Yeah, we're not expecting everyone to have an amazing game every single week. That's not what we're saying. We're saying what he does on the pitch week in, week out is what we have to summarise his season as.
I mean, look, the only players from that lineup who I would start in the next game, for a simple reason, is Edmund Green, because he deserves it. The kid's been working at it for years. Give him his chance, because, sorry, Keogh played all right. Credit where it's due. Keogh didn't play too bad, actually, for once. But if we're talking grand scheme of things, he's not been great, has he? Like, let's not beat around it all. He's not been ideal. Nor has anyone, which is exactly why Edmund's Green. Hogg can stay because it's Hogg, and he's been a veteran over the years. So a bad spell is okay for Hogg. It's not okay for anyone else because they're not Hogg. It's different for Hogg because he cares and he's the captain.
Yeah.
Campbell can start for me. He's always grafting. He's always battling. I mean, Sonogo, yeah, he wasn't accurate, but he was trying. And that goes a long way. I mean, it's bad when we're caring about players trying more than the result. That really is how low the bar is. So, yeah, I'd start the same strikers, Hogg, Edmund Green, Schofield, and the rest of the team can be kids. Bring in that Loy Kane guy. I can't pronounce his name. I think it's French. Diarra, Osterfield. Bring them all in. In fact, call Ben Jackson back at this rate. I would. I genuinely would because it cannot get worse. If Burnley offer us 8 million for O'Brien in the next window, I swear to God, if Phil or whoever's in charge of that does not accept that,
they will accept it though. If they get an offer of that, they will accept it because it's more money.
Do you know what they'll do though? They'll accept it, and then it'll go on. I don't know. It'll go. Do you know Terry and Tilly are having a kid? They'll call it Tabitha or something. they'll just do something for a laugh. They don't like they just do anything but spend money on a player. And it's like Jay saying we won't step if we play kids, in all honesty. No, yeah, I agree with that. But I mean for the next game, I mean to see a bit of difference. Only for the next game, obviously, because it's a free hit at the end of the day.
I don't really understand that comment though, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, why won't we stay up with kids when at the end of the day the kids will try a lot?
They will try. I think he more means in terms of quality and consistent quality. But no, I agree with both sides, which is why I said it. But for this game, it's a free hit because we made it a free hit. So
we need. He said someone said Holmes has been playing out of position, not his fault. But what is
his position?
Where is his position?
I was under the influence at Derby. He was a winger.
I don't understand where it. Let me just have a look.
Campbell, yeah, it's a shame he can't finish, but I'd still rather start him over some of the other players. I mean, Danny Ward, man. I mean, do you know what?
You know what? Let me just say something right now, right? So, talking about the most uninspired substitutions ever in the world, and me probably being dramatic right now. I love to be dramatic at times, but yeah. Like, we're trying to get a goal, and in all due respects, Ward has not been close to scoring when he's actually played, because we haven't seen much of him anywhere this season, which pretty much sums it up. But when you're trying to get a goal and you're bringing on someone like Ward on Saturday, why is that going to work? Why is that going to actually work? I don't understand the logic in it at all. At the end of the day, you've got Rose sat on the bench, who is more likely to score than Danny Ward. So why, again, we can talk all we want about Carlos, in terms of having loads of injuries and all this, but it doesn't mean that he can't make the right decisions. And he will admit himself that he's made a lot of mistakes. But yeah, it seems to me like Carlos is not able to have criticism because he's had a lot of injuries to deal with this summer, and that's not really what I think should be. It should be, like I say. And then another thing that I want to go, obviously, unbeaten in 5. Yeah, we're unbeaten in 5 previously to all this. But if you look at those games, we should have won. We've been unbeaten. But
the Wednesday one was not good enough. Sorry, the Wednesday one wasn't good enough. I don't care if it was unbeaten. Everyone's like, oh yeah, unbeaten, but it's Wednesday. We should be winning that game.
So let me just.
I mean, look, I see what Jay's trying to say with his positioning, yeah, but this begs me the big question of why did we sign him then? Because we don't play with anyone behind the striker. So why?
Well, I don't know, because I don't know what formation we apparently play anyway. Because
I mean, it's 4-3-3 or 3-5-2, isn't it, generally? But even if Holmes played that, is he really going to perform? Because yeah, I get that the performance is based off his position, but his effort isn't. Effort isn't positional based.
No,
I don't think that's a word, but effort is based on the player in general. So even if he's out of position, he's still got a graft, which he's not doing. So he can still be blamed. It's simple. If Campbell played right back and grafted, I would give him a lot less stick than anyone else who wasn't grafting. We're in a relegation battle. Relegation battle, it's two sides of the coin. Quality graft, quality effort, whatever you want to call it, yeah? We've got neither at the minute.
Yeah,
we're in free fall. I mean, Rotherham, we've said it, we had their pants down. We literally, I bet some of the Rotherham fans, if that relegates them, they'll be so gutted.
Yeah.
And some of the players, I feel bad for some of their players as well, because imagine if that relegates them and they've missed an open net, hit the bar with a free kick, hit the post and everything. They'll be gutted.
They will. I totally agree with that. Like I say, they were on the floor after that game as well, because I think they came out and said that feels like a loss because of what we did. And obviously,
of course it does. It would.
But the fact is what I'm saying to it is, a team was on the floor because of the effort and how hard they tried, and we were just walking off the pitch as if we'd not really played the game. That's the problem I've got as well at the minute. That's not.
I mean, look, Edits has just said in the comments that we're staying up. We're 8 points off safety, and Rotherham have got 3 games in hand.
Rotherham will. I fancy Rotherham to get out of this, and like I say, a stat that I saw is, we've played 18 since the tenure year. We've only scored in 7 of them, and when we've scored, we've only scored a single goal in the further 9, like I say. And if you want to look at Carlos's record, Because I know we're talking about, because unfortunately, being a manager, you have to get the results, and if you don't, then it's kind of, it's kind of, yeah. And so he's got 44 points in the 40 games, right? And he's been worse than all but 2 of Town's previous 16 permanent managers over their first 40 games. Now, you can say that Carlos has, been dealt with all these injuries, and we can all make that as an excuse. Unfortunately, your job is to get the best out of the players that you've got. And I'm not saying that it isn't being tough for him, because I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying to it is should he have ever been appointed? I'm kind of diverting again now, but should he?
No, I get what you're saying. You're saying should he have been appointed if he wasn't going to be backed?
At the end of the day, yes, okay, it was part of the league setup, and but my question is who are the people that he's brought with him? Who are they exactly? The fact is, we wouldn't have heard of who Carlos Corberan was if we didn't, if we didn't know what he did with Bielsa at Leeds. That's reality. But what's he doing alongside him?
I think you made a great point there. Actually, I think it was pointless bringing in a Spanish manager who plays a fast-paced football if we were going to give him 2 players and just give the rest to whatever Bromley picked. It makes zero sense. He shouldn't have been appointed in the first place, and that's no discredit to him. That's discredit to the people who are in charge of the club. You don't give a manager the job and then don't give him the tools to do it. It don't work. It's just no.
Yeah, it's total.
I mean,
and like I said, touching upon your point earlier about players coming out and saying, that, we'll try harder the next game and all this, and we'll. These words do not mean nothing, like you said earlier. And the fact is right. We need actions now. We do not need words, right?
Actions speak louder than words, exactly.
And this so-called reaction, apparently, that we were going to get, we're still waiting from since the Norwich game. So you can say the words like you want, like I say, we didn't deserve, like I say, we're touching upon it again, but like I say, Rotherham deserved the win on Saturday, and for me, that is just not going to. And if you're looking ahead to next season, right, we're going to be stuck with the same group of players. That's the concern, right? I don't feel confident in anything that we do going forward. And the fact is if it was me, we have to start from scratch again. I'm sorry, but we do. This is what I think. I know that it's going to be absolutely impossible, but what I would do is start from scratch again, because at the end of the day, we lack fighters, people that are, show a bit of pride and actually show, actually work hard for the team. And I just, like I said, I did put in my notes as well that, if I know social media is quite toxic, but like I said earlier, if you were in the stadium, it would be even worse, like you said. And next season will not be a nice place to be in that stadium. I know we're all wishing to get back on all this, but that stadium will not be a nice place if this continues, because
so toxic, man, and there'll be fans arguing with each other as well. I think. Do you know what? Yeah, I'm going to say this now, and it's almost like a light bulb of flick in your head. Last season, towards the end, Calvin Grant seemed to drop off a bit. His effort levels were going. It was almost like the writing was on the wall. He wasn't going to be here next season. He started to drift in and out. He wasn't scoring. He was just there. We gave him criticism for it. We have to do the same now. We can't single a player out just because he's the best and not do the same for the rest of them. That's one thing that occurred to me yesterday whilst I was thinking. I mean, the good positive thing for me this season is Karoma. He's been brilliant when he was on. He's a breath of fresh air. He needs to stay. Number 2, and this is very dependent on us staying up, obviously. But if we do stay up, we have to sign Karel team. I don't want to hear no excuses. You sign that man straight away. He is a long-term investment. And I'm sorry, but Devlin spoke of long-term stability. If he's saying long-term stability, give us a long-term investment. Don't let your words have no meaning. If you want the 5 to 10 year stability plan, there is nothing more that will give us stability than one of the best playmakers we've seen at the club since Aaron Moy. So give us the playmaker. We'll score more goals. Him and Karoma and Benz are linked up honestly, house on fire. So sign Eiting at the end of the season. 4 million was the thing. What's that in today's market? For us, it's a lot, but in today's market, that's no. You couldn't even get a Greg Sausage roll in the football market with that. So get Eiting in. Then, if we do need to reset and get rid of the deadwood, but he's the first move for me. You hold on to Karoma, you hold on to Mbenza, and you get the Eiting deal across the line. Because, I swear to God, if we don't get him, we're going back and back. Moy's still not been replaced. No. He's the closest to that replacement that we will ever see.
Yeah.
We've been given a miracle. Don't ruin it. Just
Yeah, it was always going to be hard to, replace a player like Aaron Moore, who for me was the best player I've ever seen in the Township. But yeah,
1,000,000%.
But the fact is that we've got to look at. We can say that Caroline might cost whatever, but how much have we actually wasted in these past few years? How can we actually say that we cannot realistically go out and spend that amount of money on a player that is very, very talented, and like you say, it's just I just feel like, just touching upon something else now in terms of the way the club is run as a whole, right? And for me, regard any football club, I believe that a manager should have full control of what goes in and out.
It makes sense, doesn't it? Why would you? You wouldn't get a joiner to go out and do a job and then get a plumber to pick his tools, would you? It makes zero sense. Because then when he turns up and he's sat there with plunger, he looks like a right idiot, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I used a good example the other day. I was talking with some mates, and he said, "What's going on with town?" I said, "Quite simple, really. Look at a restaurant, yeah? Restaurant, bad decor, looks bad. No one wants to go in there. Refurbish it, invest in it. More people will want to go there, i.e. players. You will make more money. Invest in the club, we will make more money. It's a very simple business principle. If we're going to go on about football being a business, then let's look at the basic business terminology. If you give Corberan some backing, then he will surprise us. If you're not gonna, just sack him. Just let him carry on with his career, because you're wasting our time and you're wasting his time. Let him go somewhere else where he will be backed, because he don't deserve it and we don't deserve it. So, just...
Yeah. But he has to have full control, and I question why. Why have we gone down that route? Because I know, as prior to probably the Premier League, the manager did have the say on everything. So why is that mentality changed since the Premier League and going forward? I just don't understand why we are going down. And like I said, I've said this on previous weeks. Like we've just it's all about how toxic social media is at the moment with town and things like that. But the reality is the disconnect between the fans and the club is massive, and we've said this before. And unfortunately, now I'm not criticising the chairman at all here. Let's just make that clear. But unfortunately, what Dean, for example, what Dean Hall did right when he was here, he didn't spend a lot, but what he did do is you have that core foundation of uniting, the club and the fans together as one. Now, since Dean's gone, I feel like that's just kind of evaporated. And unfortunately, if the chairman wants to get back on good terms, he has to be. People are saying that he's a different kind of person to Dean. Yes, okay, that's fair enough. But all we're asking is we want to feel like we're valued within that club.
Do you know what? Yeah. You've just raised a very good point, but do you not think we want to like Phil? Do you not think we want to like that? Do they really think that we go through day-to-day life thinking, oh, I wonder what I can catch the board out on today, and just think about what I can hit them for? We really don't. We'd love to be able to say, oh, our chairman's brilliant, our board are brilliant, but we can't. So I don't know what they want. It's almost like they just expect us to step in everything, get covered, and be happy with it. And it's like, what do you? Because at the end of the day, we're the one that suffers.
Yeah, we're the ones that most suffers from it.
If they lose any money, that's their own doing. So, you reap what you sow. But we're the ones that suffer. We're the ones that'll go to bed on a night thinking, like, what's happened to my club? What's happened to my biggest commitment in life? And people don't realise. And look, there's loads of people that I know that support top 6 teams in the Premier League, and some of them do have a very good, connection to their club. But I don't think they'll ever know what it's like to feel how we feel. To feel like you're falling and you genuinely can't get up. And this is what it feels like. Last season was bad. This is worse. We thought at one point we could have got promoted. Well, we've got egg in his face now.
Yeah, Max, I totally agree with you there. Like I say, it's just you're kind of thinking to yourself, how has it got this bad in this? In terms of, so we can probably go back as far as we want here, right? And I kind of look towards the recruitment side of it in terms of it's only one part of it, of course, with diversity again, but ultimately the recruitment side of it has not been good enough since way before I think it was. I would say the Premier League season we needed to get the recruitment spot on the first season. Okay, we survived that first season. I understand that, but then going forward, we was adding to play. We was how it went. We was adding players in that wasn't really improving the squad, and that and then it's just kind of just kept going and going where we've just not got the right players in, and we, in all due respect, teams that have got relegated from the Premier League usually fight back and and are up there the following season. But what did we do? We was totally. I'm not saying we expected to be, but I'm just saying I'm following on what other models of likes of other teams that have done it. They're always up there challenging, even if they don't get up. So how come we were an exception to that? It's just crazy. I just don't know what to say anymore. And like I said, this isn't. Well, like I said, as fans, we feel it more than anybody, right? So the players can say what they want after, in their interviews and all this, and Chairman can come out and say, but ultimately it's us, the fans, that suffer the most. That's the problem. So yeah, I don't know what I'll say, but yeah, obviously looking at, I think we should just look ahead to tomorrow night now. We really have to. Like I say, it's that again. It's that attitude. If we really have to, as a fan, you want to be, really looking forward to seeing it. I know that it's not been the same, not being able to go to the matches, but in general, you should be looking forward to watching your team play. But unfortunately, at the moment, you're not really feeling it. So obviously, there was a big boost today in terms of, Aaron's Aitin and Josh Koroma could make the return tomorrow evening. Obviously, that is a big boost. So obviously, 3 players that have more than likely be on the bench at least, even if they don't make the starting lineup. But that's a big boost for us tomorrow night if we need a bit of positive spin on it. But obviously, I don't understand, right? But yeah, Vallejo's a doubt again. Now I don't understand what's happened with Vallejo because I know that he had a bad, but usually with a head clash, it doesn't usually last 2 or 3 games, does it? He's usually recovered at.
A head clash is either a minor thing or it's a massive thing. It's either a game out with a bruise or they're having brain surgery and trying to get pieces of the skull removed or whatever, like Raul Jimenez. But
I don't see how Vallejo is comparable to Jimenez. I don't understand what's going on with that because Vallejo, what he did look quite bad, but it shouldn't keep him out for 3 or 4 years. I mean, come on. I don't understand. And Vallejo would have played a key part tomorrow evening as well had he been available. That's something to definitely consider. Obviously, looking at Bournemouth, obviously, Jonathan Woodgate in charge now, and they really are wanting to make that return to the top flight a reality over the coming weeks for sure. That's what they want to do. They currently just sit inside the playoff positions, and they've got a game in hand on 3 of the 5 teams above them as well, which is obviously worth saying. They've got 68 points from their 40 matches they played. Like I say, Jonathan Woodgate only just took over in February as well, and he's been quite a good appointment for them, actually, to be fair. He's kind of, since Tinder left. Their form is pretty good, unfortunately. And like I say, we've won the last 4 matches, which is quite good, and very good, actually. And like I say, if you remember, they reached the last stage of the FA Cup as well. Obviously, they lost to Southampton, but again, that was a big achievement. I've pinpointed a few players to watch tomorrow evening, and obviously, the goalkeeper I really like this guy, Asmir Begovic. Obviously, it's interesting how his time has gone at Bournemouth, actually, because obviously, when they were in the Premier League, that before they got relegated, he was actually playing. I think they were playing a bit more, but obviously he went out on loan to a few clubs. Obviously, he's returned this season, like I said, and he's kind of imposed himself as that first choice. Like I say, he's apparently got he's had 15 clean sheets, which isn't good news for us this season. Like I say, he's had the second highest save percentage, stopping 76.3% of the shots he's faced this season. So again, I've always liked Asmir Begovic though, because obviously he were at Chelsea once at one point. He was at Stoke previously as well, and yeah, I've always liked. He's got quite a good height to him as well, and he's a really quality.
Oh, he's 6'7" in A's.
Yeah, he's a really good. But yeah, I've also highlighted Danjuma, who again.
Oh no, I don't know because I've never had the chance to meet him. But one of my best mates moved down south quite earlier in high school, and he met this guy who he became best mates with, and he's a Bournemouth fan, and we've talked plenty of times, and he will not stop talking about that Danjuma, and you can see, can't you, in the stats, he's
outstanding.
He's different gravy to anyone we've got. So he's on that left side. So Pippa, no, probably Duane because he'll play left mid, won't he? Probably.
We're gonna have to double up on him, really. If you think about tomorrow evening, maybe we could do with doubling up on a few players that we may find threats, but. And the work rate has to be there, otherwise we'll get turned over.
I mean, what they'll do is, the system they'll play Lerma as a 6, won't they? Lerma will drop in between the centre halves. The full-backs will act as wingers, and the wingers will act as 3 forwards, along with the striker.
Who is Lerma guy? Sorry, because I had actually pinpointed him as one of the key men to watch.
He was a big part of their Premier League project, of course, and heard brilliant things about him. Not the most disciplined in the world, but he's a strong holding midfielder, and I think he'll control the game quite well. And alongside him is one of the best talents who never made it, Jack Wilshere. I mean, he's got it. He's not. You don't lose talent. You can get injured, but you're not going to lose it. And he has got talent. Unfortunately, he got injured every time he touches the ball, so he never made it as good as he could have. But any midfielder that is giving Xavi and Iniesta a run on their day has to be taken seriously. So
definitely. He's a class.
It's just so bad day Bacuna and bad day O'Brien aren't marking him because.
But for me, it's not. I know I'll keep going back to this, but for me tomorrow night it is not a game for Bacuna, unfortunately. So I would like to see Bacuna on the bench, unfortunately. So
no, I agree. Yeah.
But
like I said, I don't think either of them should play. Really, I'd prefer to play hungry youth academy players that care.
But don't you think that, like you're saying that, but don't you? I kind of get the impression that you're wanting the youth to start, but you can't really see that tomorrow evening. Is that how you view it?
Oh yeah, I want it, but it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
I want to win Lotto, but it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's like this, but no, their front five, as you know, in game looks deadly. I mean, Brooks on the other side, it don't get any better. Billing can't stop at the minute, and Solanke, you give him the ball, he'll score.
Yeah,
don't look good, does it? And the bench is stacked, so.
But like I say, it's you know, like I say, they've got a lot of goals in their team, like you say, and I think, let me just see, his Dan Juma's goal ratio and assists in the last 6 outings has been pretty impressive.
He's scored or assisted in every game, hasn't he?
He scored a goal in every game and he's assisted 4 in them 6. It's just crazy. Like I say,
that's 10 contributions in 6 games. That's ridiculous.
It's worth noting that he was awarded the Player of the Month for March, and also he's been nominated for the Player of the Award, the Player of the Season award as well.
He'll probably win it, to be fair.
Solanke as well. I think Solanke is another one that I've pinpointed. Like I say, he sits on top of Bournemouth's goal and assist output. Can you believe this season in the league? Like I say, he's got 13 goals and 6 assists. If you remember Solanke as well, he was obviously at Chelsea and Liverpool, and obviously this season he's having the best goal scoring season of his career with those numbers that I've just mentioned. Like I say, I think he's a player that's learned his trade by having to, go out on loan a few times.
Yeah,
he's actually learned his trade, and he's really come on as a footballer, and he's made advantage of those loan moves, even though he wouldn't have wanted to go to the likes of. I think he was in Belgium once at Vitesse Arnhem in 2015-16 season, and don't tell me he wanted to go there, but he did it because he wanted to try and develop.
Yeah, I think one thing that doesn't sit right with me on this Ryan as well, and I'm looking at this lineup, it is the bench. I mean, look at what they can bring on. This could kill us. I mean, they've got Shane Long, a proven Prem striker. They've got Surridge, a young, hungry striker. They've got Diego Rico, who I think plays quite good as a wing back. They've got Pearson, who's one of the best holding midfielders in the division. It really doesn't get better. When it rains, it pours for us. I think it's
just crazy, like I say. And these players that I mentioned, these are all behind the goal. They're all the thing with Bournemouth is they don't concede many, but they also score a lot as well. It just makes it sound like it's going to be no chance tomorrow night. I know we said that we're not going to have a chance tomorrow night, but it kind of makes it even more daunting actually saying those things. Like I say, like the form guide going into this, which I just noted here. Obviously, we've lost one of our out of the last 7 games, which obviously we don't need to be reminded which game that was. But anyway, like I say, we're unbeaten in 5 at home, remember, as well, though. I know that maybe we've drawn a few and we've maybe wanted to win the games that we've drawn, but we're still unbeaten in 5 at home. So that is a still solid foundation.
It is.
I'm trying to clutch at straws here. I'm trying to find positive.
We are clutching at straws to be positive, but at the end of the day, that shouldn't be a thing. If we were playing on any other day, Rotherham would have absolutely ruined us. We were very lucky not to lose by 4, 5, never mind lose full stop. I think that stat, although it's a brilliant stat to have, it's like the words, it's just hollow. It's masking what really is going on, and it masks what really could kill us tomorrow when we play them.
I know what you're saying. Like I say, they scored 4 their last match as well. Against Coventry. Coventry obviously sit in similar circumstances to us, of course. But did Coventry come up this? Did Coventry only just come up this season though? So they're expected to be fighting for their lives, whereas we couldn't even in that position anyway.
We are battling with the ex-League Ones. That really is the.
Oh, I'm laughing, but I'm actually painful. I'm pained inside. So what do you? I know we're diverting away from it, but I'm just wondering. Obviously, what have you seen much of Bournemouth this season? And obviously, what kind of what kind of match are you expecting tomorrow night? Then, in terms of what challenges that they obviously, it's obvious what challenges they'll they'll bring to the table, but what kind of game? I can't say that I've watched Bournemouth much this season, but I'm just wondering if you have, and what have you made of them so far this season?
Right, one time we sort the camera out because it keeps tilting.
Yeah, it keeps. Yeah.
Right. Right. The goals that I'm seeing Bournemouth score are very quick goals. They are playing the football that we were supposed to play.
So do they play? Yeah, so they play a style that we wanting to play, but obviously we're not to that level.
They always have, I think, even under Eddie Howe, they play that direct driving forward.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, coming back.
They're playing how we should. I think we mess up once in that game, and they'll pounce. They'll probably do it in the first 7 minutes.
Are they quick out the blocks kind of team, Bournemouth, or do they sometimes have a bit of a slow starter kind of thing? Because I'm just curious as to how we're gonna.
From what I've seen, they can have patches where they're not really doing much with the ball, but if they give the ball out to one of the wide players, we're in for it.
How would you? So let's flip that on its head then. So how would you approach tomorrow night's game then, in terms of from our perspective then? What would you do? What would be the ideal setup? How we play or whatever?
I'd start a 5 at the back.
Right.
I'd have, if all players are fit, I'd have Schofield in goal. I'd have Pippa in that right wing back. I'd have Edmonds Green, Creechlow, and Richard Keogh. Richard Keogh would have to be sitting a bit further in front for my liking. It's 5 at the back, but if we're going to get technical before and then a 1 in front, Keogh can still give us those defensive qualities, but because he played well on Saturday, so let's not ruin it. Sarr probably don't deserve the start. He's been poor recently. He nearly gave 2 penalties away in home games. I think left wing back, it's got to be Rowe. The midfielders, let's say we do a 5-3-2. I'd like it to be Hogg, O'Brien if he's up to scratch, and obviously very dependent. But if he's fit, I'd like to see Carell Heiting involved. But let's not rush things if we don't have to. But if I'm picking someone, I guess I have to pick Bacuna because it's not like anyone else can play that position. We've not got any depth. Is what.
But wouldn't you play somebody that maybe?
Well, Osterfield then. I'd pick Osterfield.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I'd take Osterfield over Bacuna at the minute. In fact,
I like
that. I'd take Osterfield and what's his face now? I'd take Osterfield and Scott High over O'Brien and Bacuna, based on the last couple of games on how still and static they've been. I'd leave them both on the bench because we know both of them can do well off the bench. And I'd have Campbell and Benza up top to give us a little bit of pace.
Yeah.
And for that first half, I'd just play possession. I'd just hold on to the ball and I'd just keep passing it back. We set out the first half, and then from the first half, we just straight up throw the keeper up, just go for it. At that point, you don't defend for 2 halves. But there's no way that we can hold on for 2 halves. If we hold on for 2, we hold on for 2 halves, then I'll pay one at players' wages for the week because we're not doing it.
Yeah, we're not. Like I say, recent evidence has shown that when we do just sit back, we're not really. We're just not going to win the game, are we? Let's be honest. But so I kind of always look deep into this in terms of, if we, I know we very rarely start. If we can start quickly and maybe catch them off guard.
Right, what we need to do is what we did against. Who was it now? I think it was Bristol. Was it when Fraser did that little fake shot inside and sort of scuffed it with his left, but it went in?
Yeah.
We need that early start, straight on them.
Yeah.
Play how I said. Defend, but catch them on counter. Try to at least. Sit back the rest of the half. Second half, as they come out, try and nick the game in a second. The approach isn't to play direct with Bournemouth because they'll hunt us. They are, in my personal opinion, the most threatening attacking team in the league at this stage.
Yeah. So do Bournemouth? Bournemouth well on the pressing style as well. How do they press a lot, or how do they? Because I'm just wondering that. If we don't want to be messing about too much at the back because we'll end up losing if their press is quite high. So I suppose it depends how they set out as well. Of what we.
No, certainly. I think.
I don't know if they press.
I'm not sure of the style of play, but do you want my honest opinion, right? I don't think they'll have to press because they'll probably end up controlling ball for most of the game, anyways.
What I'm thinking is though, if we're kind of
defending, they'll nick it. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but do you know what? Yeah, I think sometimes we're just gonna have to pray because there's only so much we can do in a game, and Bournemouth, like I say, I look at teams, Cantwell, Puckett, Dowell and Buendia, that's a good attack. But for me personally, I think let's just talk the three. Puckett, Buendia, Cantwell. It's good, but I think this season, if we're being totally honest, that Bournemouth is just as good. That Bournemouth attack is deadly. You've got the problem for me is you've got the jack of all trades. You've got pacey wingers that can create, and you've got a tall, big striker in the middle.
So how do you defend against that? That's the problem. How do you cope with this? With that, like I said, not many teams have been able to cope.
Do you know what? Yeah, honestly, genuinely, for corners, I'd bring every man back and I'd put 3 on Solanke. Put 3 men on Solanke because that kid drinks his green milk and has his green beans because he's massive. He looks like he'd battle for it as well. You put 3 men on him, simple. If we have to, we put men on the line. We do whatever tomorrow night to fight and get a point. That's what we do.
Yeah.
We ain't winning the game.
Yeah.
I don't care what odds Sky give my parents. They're not betting on that tomorrow.
Yeah, like I said, Solanke is a really, quite a strong.
He's a utility player. You use him in the right system. Do you know what? Yeah, there's a certain, you call him target man nowadays, but it made me laugh when Lukaku got slated at United. We knew he was capable of it. United played a system that didn't fit him. Look at Everton. He absolutely shredded everyone at Everton.
Yeah.
The same will apply to every single player that's a utility player. And, he's a utility player. He'll fit Bournemouth style of play like a glove, and he has done this season. And that's why I think we're going to get absolutely desecrated tomorrow.
So you truly can't see any possibility, and I know I'm kind of clutching at straws here again because obviously we've had a pretty
right.
Right.
My genuine honest opinion, sorry to interrupt, of course, but no, the only instance that we win tomorrow is we get a penalty and Benza takes it. I swear to God, if Bakuna, Campbell or Sanogo goes anywhere near it.
But Sanogo is meant to be our first choice penalty taker, apparently. I thought that's what they said after, because that's why he took the one that he got the last time, didn't he?
The only thing I have yet is I was practicing penalties yesterday, funnily enough, just with my mates. If Mbenza can score from 18 plus on a dead ball, then why can't he do it from 12?
Yeah, that's very true. Like I say, the thing is, I know that you said about Mbenza. That's something that I want to touch on quickly. Obviously, with Mbenza, I know that he's improved a lot this season, but I still feel like he should be doing more. And
he should. You're right. You're right, but no, you're right. You are right. You're 100% right. I couldn't agree more. But in this instance, he's a player we have to stick with because there's simply no one else.
I'm not entirely saying that he shouldn't be playing. I'm just saying that.
No, we need more from him. Yeah, but I don't think he's been the same since Karoma got injured. Those two linking up together were an absolute monster of a pairing.
So would you rush these? Obviously Carlos has said that Aitin, Karoma, and like I said, they'll be back tomorrow night. I kind of have that feeling of if they be on the bench, they play some minutes, even if it isn't the full game. So are we best starting them and maybe just giving them a run out? Maybe I don't know, about 60 minutes or so if they can do that. But I'm just maybe that's a bit too much for their first game back. But what I'm saying to is my mentality has always been if a player's on the bench, then they should be able to play as well.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, one sec, Ryan. But no, I agree with what you're saying actually there. But I think I think we do one or the other, to be totally honest. I'm sick of people messing about. Pick one and stick with it. If you want to play him, start him. If you don't want to play him, don't take him. A player shouldn't be anywhere near the squad if they're not able to play. So, you know what I mean? I'm just looking for a charger. My phone's gonna die. But if he's fit enough to come off the bench, he's fit enough to start. That's simple.
That's what I see.
That's how I see it. I don't like all this recovery. Do you know what? Yeah. Oh God. Because I said this to my mate yesterday. I said those players better be training. They better be doing some runs around the pitch because I'll go livid.
Well,
and
I
saw nothing. I seen absolutely nothing, and I said to him, I was like, I don't want none of this recovery day or resting her out. You need to graft for that.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm going to say, right? Because if you remember Carl's comments after the Rotherham game, he was asked about if they'd been training the next day, and he said no, they're going to have a recovery day. I thought, you what? A recovery day for what? They should have been in training on Sunday, can I just say? Because at the end of the day, regardless of the result, you should be training every day to me. No recovery. I'm not on about the result as a whole. I'm just on about you should be training every day. I don't understand this recovery business.
Yeah, it's just a load of rubbish, isn't it? Let's not.
So I'm just. Oh yeah. So I was gonna say something. I've also forgotten what I was gonna say. Yeah, I mean, obviously we're kind of having to focus on what's happening on the pitch at the minute, but what baffles me the most about let's finish on this maybe. What baffles me the most about this is that why are we being linked to people that have been has-beens at the club rather than looking at players that will that will be new to the club but will also be ambitious. We need to be finding those ambitious players, and like I say, I know John Rhodes has been name has been about a lot lately. More so after seeing his dad at the game on Saturday. But obviously, I kind of feel like why are we going for players that Rhodes has passed his best now, unfortunately? So why are we even being linked with somebody like that?
Do you know what? Yeah. I see both sides, but I'd take Rhodes. Simple reason: if we service, he might do well. Not because he's a great player, not because it could be a waste of wage, but at the end of the day, he's not done bad in recent weeks for Wednesday. So if we can give him quality of lighting or someone, he might score. But have we really got many better attackers? Can we look at any one of our attackers and say, they're clinical?
No, I'm not saying we can, but I don't particularly think we're looking at the right player for me.
I know what you're saying.
Rhodes is a lot older now, can I just say? He's okay for Wednesday. But if you look at over the last few years, he has done practically nothing.
No, yeah, you're right. We've been taking a chance, but I don't know. Part of me obviously wants to see him return for the glory and all that, and that's probably what clouds my judgment sometimes, but I think maybe we owe it to him to give him another shot. I don't know. More so than we did to Holmes, Keogh, or who was the other one?
Oh, yeah, I'm not denying that at all. I'm not
exactly. That's my reasoning for it, though. I think if you're going to give one, then you give the other, but no, it's...
And another, thing that, that was kind of just...
Yeah. There is one player who's been rumoured. There's been a bit of a little heckle on Twitter that's been said to come back, and I'd welcome him back open arms. It's Michael Hefferley. I've heard some things saying he's just sat there at bench on Nottingham Forest. I'd take him back.
You can still, definitely, because you can still see that he loves the club as well, because he's. I don't know. I think I remember seeing some activity on his page, maybe, or maybe he commented on a town post or whatever. He did something anyway, and it was kind of like in that, that hashtag no limits kind of thing, from when he was here previously. But he seems to have a lot of love for this club still, and I agree that I would welcome back. But
there would be nothing. Go on, one sec. There'd be nothing more exhilarating than going back opening day, whether it's home, away, in a garden shed. We don't care. We'll turn up. There would be nothing better than seeing him in the lineup and hearing the song play and us chanting along to it, it would be the perfect start to a season.
I understand that and I appreciate that, and the likability he's got and the character. Everyone loves him, basically. You can't not like him, can you? But the problem is, let me ask you this then: if he's starting if he comes back and he's in the starting lineup, do you back his ability as a defender as well? I know it's all right having this camaraderie about how he is as as a person, and he's this likable character, and he's such a great guy. But ultimately, we need somebody that can defend as well.
No, I know what you're saying.
Is he going to be that player? That's what I'm saying to you.
Right, I think it depends on who's alongside him.
Yeah.
I think Hefele, Edmonds Green would be a solid partnership, personally. I think you've got one that's quite fast and could keep up with the pace, and one that's quite tall and would battle. That could work. I think, do you know what, yeah? With some of the stuff we've seen from Siren Keel this season, I think it'd be too painful for us all not to try. I mean, Keel's going to end the season anyway. It frees up the wage bill. And it's not like that Keel's wage bill is going to go to someone of any actual sort of quality. We're not going to sign anyone like that. If we are going to get anyone, it would be someone on a free. Let's not look at it like we're going to get, Ronaldo or Messi. Like, we wouldn't even get their kids at this rate. I think Hefele would be the best of a bad bunch, really. But listen, there's plenty of time. We could go on about this for ages, but I think one thing we do need that Hefele could provide is morale, and it's an underrated feature in a team. And just look at them; they're all miserable. They're all so not confident, miserable. They don't care. Hefele would be the firework up their arse right now. He would.
What about Naby Sarr then? Because obviously, looking ahead, I know we're kind of looking ahead to the summer now, but what's Naby Sarr's contract like? Is he out of contract this summer? I don't think I saw him on the list of names that was out of contract this summer.
No, I don't think he is. I think he stays I think he signed a 2 or 3 year deal.
But would you look to keep? Excuse me for questioning, but would you look to keep? Him because based on what he's produced this season, for me, he's been way below the dish. I know that he's had some. Maybe that's been a bit harsh because he has been, really good at times, and he's kept us in a few games. But overall, you've got to look at it overall.
Overall, he's been sent off. He's nearly gives a penalty every other game. Yeah. He's been a liability. Do you know what? Yeah, I wish I had answers, but I don't think any one of us will. I think we'd have to be a qualified scout. But I hate to cut you short, but I'm gonna have to go because I've got food ready.
Yeah, no problem. I think we've gone as far as we want to anyway. But yeah, thank you for joining.
It's been great to be back. But if there was any time where we'd do this again, I said this would be the perfect opportunity because we've really got down to the grit today and everything that is true about the club, and
we've tried to be as honest as we can, basically. And we're not criticising the club in any way. We're not trying to say, well, we're
not trying to abuse anyone, but sometimes there's a line that gets crossed with fans, and you've got to tell them how it is. And
so I think it's best to say that in that line that we weren't, wanting to attack anybody as such. We were just trying,
it's opinions. At the end of the day, opinions can't offend people because they're opinions. Opinions are opinions.
Yeah, that's true.
If everyone disagreed with everyone's opinions, then society wouldn't work as it does. But
yeah, that's it. But
But it's been great to be back. I think we've covered some real points today. I think we've done everything and preview tomorrow. But yeah, it's been great to feature.
Well, we can only hope for tomorrow night. We can just sit there and maybe just hope for something. But yeah, we'll see what happens, and we'll have to take it whatever it comes. But for sure, the minimum we expect is for a team to battle out there tomorrow evening, and that's all we do expect. So that's all we can expect either. So that's all we can ask for. But yeah, cheers. Right, I'll speak to you later. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining, by the way, and we'll catch you all next week. Thank you.
Down. Cheers, Ryan.
Cheers. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Like I say, do obviously want to stress that obviously the points that we've covered tonight is not in any way trying to attack anyone within the club at all. It's just an opinion, and ultimately as fans we want to see the we have the best interests of the club at heart ultimately. So, but yeah, like I said, it's always amazing to have Brad on the show. So yeah, like I say, I appreciate him coming on. But yeah, any more questions before I go? Otherwise, I will go in a few moments. If we have got no questions, I am going to go. Yeah, probably nothing coming through. So yeah, thank you everybody for joining. Like I said, please like, share, and subscribe this. Subscribe to the channel. And yeah, let's hope we can get a really positive result tomorrow night. We can only hope and pray. Like I said, it's going to be a massive, massive challenge. But like I said to Brad, if we can just battle and just have a good go and just have a performance that we can just say, yeah, you know what, they did try tonight, and that's all we expect. So yeah, as long as we see that tomorrow night, I'll be more than happy. But yeah, cheers guys, and I'll see you all next week for another Proud Terriers weekly review show. Cheers, catch you later, bye bye.